Welcome to Israel Now News. I'm Rebecca Roberts.
And I'm Yochanan El Rom.
In our top story, the United States and Israel are working towards becoming a united front in preventing Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. Israel recently hosted U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan in the Knesset, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed him, saying that Israel views him as a trusted partner in matters of our shared security and in advancing peace. Netanyahu disclosed that their high-level meetings focused on regional security challenges and, of course, Iran, which is the chief security threat in the Middle East. Sullivan was briefed by the head of Israel's Mossad, David Barnea, and Eli Cohen, head of Israel's foreign ministry. Sullivan said that President Biden's commitment to the state of Israel is bone deep and is rooted in shared history, interests, and values. His announcement came as the U.S. and Israel launched another round of large-scale joint military drills in the region. Yochanan has more on that.
Yes, Rebecca. The United States and Israeli armed forces have launched Operation Juniper Oak 2023. It is intended to send a strong message that the two allies will not allow Iran to obtain nuclear weapons. The massive joint military maneuvers are just the latest in a series of exercises simulating attacks on the rogue Islamic Republic's nuclear facilities. The United States Central Command announced that the war games will involve over 140 aircraft, 12 naval vessels, and artillery systems from both the U.S. and Israeli armies in the eastern Mediterranean. CENTCOM said this exercise strengthens collective U.S.-Israeli readiness and improves the interoperability of both forces, thereby contributing to regional stability. And in related news, the Israeli Defense Force has officially requested 25 F-15 advanced fighter jets from the United States. These F-15EX warplanes are capable of carrying the kind of heavy weaponry that could penetrate Iran's underground nuclear facilities.
The European Union has decided not to add the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps to its list of terror groups, despite a recommendation from the European Parliament. The MEPs released a statement urging the European Union and its member states to include the IRGC on the EU's list in light of its terrorist activity, the repression of protesters, and its supplying of drones to Russia. Several European officials expressed their outrage at the EU's decision not to blacklist the IRGC. Austrian Foreign Minister Alexander Schallenberg said, Iran is on a collision course, not only with the international community with its nuclear program, but also with its own people with the brutal crackdown of the civil society movement.
Israel's National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has demanded that the Knesset halt all illegal construction in the country. Until now, Jewish outposts in Judea and Samaria have been swiftly demolished, while illegal Arab construction is virtually ignored. Ben-Gvir insisted that all residents of Israel be held to the same standard of law and that illegal construction of any kind be met with a consistent response. Israel Now News has reported extensively on the rampant illegal Arab construction in Judea and Samaria, which is often funded by the European Union in order to help the Palestinians steal the land. These small cities are unlawfully built overnight and are therefore hazardous as well as illegal. Ben-Gvir submitted evidence of recent Arab construction during a cabinet meeting and demanded that illegal Arab outposts funded by the EU be demolished in accordance with rulings by the High Court of Justice.
Israel has rearrested two previously imprisoned terrorists for inciting violence against Jews. Karim and Maher Yunus each served 40 years in an Israeli prison for the murder of IDF Corporal Avram Bromberg in 1980. They were recently released from prison and received a hero's welcome in their hometown. Despite warnings from the Israeli security establishment not to do so, both men made several social media posts encouraging further acts of terror. The Yunus cousins each received about $100,000 from the Palestinian Authority during their incarceration, making them some of the highest paid terrorists on the PA's payroll. Palestinian Media Watch, a non-governmental organization which monitors Palestinian affairs in Arabic, has filed a complaint with the state's attorney's office over the stipends. The Palestinian Authority's pay-to-slay program incentivizes violence by providing monthly salaries to the families of terrorists, and Israel has vowed to crack down on this practice.
The Iranian-backed Hezbollah terror group, which controls Lebanon, has erected a series of massive observation towers on the border with Israel. The IDF has recently replaced the border fence with a 9-meter-high concrete barrier to protect Israel from the Iranian proxy army. Hezbollah has constructed at least 20 posts just meters away from the Blue Line, posing a threat to Israeli soldiers in Israel, as well as to the 10,000 UNIFIL soldiers stationed there. The IDF says this activity is a violation of UN Security Council Resolution 1701.
Israel's Foreign Minister Eli Cohen has accepted an invitation to visit Kiev. He will be the most senior Israeli official to travel to Ukraine since the onset of the Russian invasion of the country 11 months ago. In a call with his Ukrainian counterpart, Dmitry Kuleba, Cohen urged Kiev to join the fight against Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, which has been providing Russia with the weaponized drones it is using to attack Ukraine. Cohen pledged to continue Israel's humanitarian aid to the country and to permanently reopen Israel's embassy there. Karen Ayasod has been on the ground assisting both Russians and Ukrainians since the outbreak of the war. It has provided assistance to hundreds of thousands of people and has aided tens of thousands of Jews to move home to Israel.
A beautiful new synagogue has been established in a hospital in the German state of Thuringia by the grandson of a Nazi. Waldklinik in Eisenberg Hospital is considered to be the best orthopedic facility in Germany. The medical center has state-of-the-art equipment to help patients recuperate from orthopedic injuries. And now it houses a Jewish synagogue and a kosher restaurant to accommodate observant Jewish patients and their families. Hospital CEO David Rubenties is the grandson of a hardened Nazi who participated in the invasion of Poland. However, his other grandfather smuggled Jews out of the country at great risk to his own safety. Rubenties has close ties with the Jewish community in Germany. He said it is very important to him to provide the right treatment and environment for his Jewish patients. He added that he hopes to atone for his grandfather's sins through his support of Judaism, and he hopes his work is a source of pride for his other grandfather, who saved countless Jews during World War II.
Israel Aerospace Industries has unveiled its new point-blank missile, which can fit into a backpack. The 15-pound rocket is meant to be operated by a single soldier in the field. It can take off and land vertically in the operator's hand. The point-blank rocket is capable of flying at 1,500 feet at speeds of up to 178 miles per hour. It can hover in place and transmit surveillance information in real time. IAI has been awarded with a multi-million-dollar contract by the U.S. Department of Defense to develop a similar system for small strike teams.
The Israeli Philharmonic Symphony has played its debut performance in Dubai. This is the first time the orchestra has appeared in an Arab country since 1945. The production began with Israel's national anthem, Hatikva. Israel's Philharmonic is led by one of the world's most talented young conductors, Lahav Sheni. He released a statement saying, "Our performance in an Arab country is perhaps a small step on the way to what we all wish for, peace."
The Israeli firm Verobotics has made a multi-million-dollar deal for its artificial intelligence vertical robots. This is the first drone of its kind that can clean and inspect the facades of skyscrapers. Verobotics announced that it had partnered with RoboCore, a Hong Kong-based robotics company. Hong Kong has over 9,000 high-rise buildings, making it the ideal city to launch this game-changing technology. This human-like vertical robot weighs less than 22 pounds and is autonomously operated without the use of cranes or railing systems, and the companies believe that these robots will be deployed on hundreds of buildings within a few years.
The Jewish National Fund, or Keren Kayemet LeIsrael, is planning a massive tree planting campaign in the Negev Desert. The 30,000 dunam Yatir forest was planted by KKL-JNF in 1964. It is Israel's largest man-made forest and the largest planted forest in a sub-desert area in the world. It's home to the remains of an ancient Levite city, as well as more than 4 million trees. It's located on the southern slopes of Mount Hebron and stretches to the northern end of the Negev Desert. The area is in dire need of replanting and agricultural work to combat the effects of deforestation in the area.
That concludes the news portion of our show. Stay tuned for Ask the Source with Josh Reinstein.
Hello and welcome to Ask the Source. I'm your host Josh Reinstein, and we're here in our beautiful studio in Jerusalem. My guest today is member of Knesset Sharren Haskel. Sharren, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks, Josh. It's a pleasure to be here.
Sharren, tell us a little about what it's like to be a member of Knesset in Israel.
What it's like, it's not easy, especially in a country like Israel, where you have so many backgrounds and opinions and, religion. Israel is such a collective of different cultures and religion, and it's a beautiful democracy where we're capable of living in harmony together, but it's not easy. And the Knesset, it's like, a microcosmos of exactly that. So you've got Knesset members from all different, and there's a lot of arguments, many arguments, but it's beautiful to see some cooperation and bridges that we're capable of building between communities.
You're also the chairperson of the Knesset Christian Allies Caucus. This is the group that reaches out to Christians around the world. Why was that important for you to get involved in?
Well, it was really important because we have to build a strong bridge between the Jewish community and the Christian community from all around the world. At the end of the day, we all share the same Christian-Judeo values of liberties, freedom, of democracy. Israel is this one little example how a democracy, a thriving democracy, is capable of surviving in a region like the Middle East. There's no other country who's capable of, having a stable country like that. And, I think especially the Christian communities around the world for throughout history have been fighting for freedom and liberties. I mean, the American story is all about that, and it's being viewed around the world as the defender. America is a defender of liberties and freedom, and I think that this bridge has to be strong enough, because this is how we can bring those values and those ideas into the Middle East. The stronger Israel is, the better it will be for people all around the region, because we are a living proof that, no matter how diverse your community is, how many religion, and, it can live in harmony with those values of freedom, liberties, and democracy.
We're seeing that it's Christians, not countries, that are standing with Israel, and it's incredible the successes. We see embassies in Jerusalem again. Israel has observer status of the African Union, anti-BDS legislation. Why is Christian support for Israel so effective?
The people who know Israel, who visited Israel, understand that once you step into this country and you start traveling through, this is like opening the book of the Bible and reliving it. And so, first of all, the connection is so close because those stories, of the Jewish Bible and also Christian stories, they all happened here. And so I understand the need of the Christian community all around the world to make sure that, historical infrastructures, even churches and events and places will stand by the test of time. I mean, take for example what happened in Iraq or in Syria. Churches, buildings that stood for hundreds, of years, they were completely eliminated and destroyed. In Israel, you can just walk throughout history of thousands of years. And I think that Christian communities understand that as long as this country has a strong democratic government, everyone will have a piece of history. Everyone will have a piece of the Bible when they come here. We know how to guard this delicate environment and keep it open for all religion, something that is not possible in almost any other country surrounding us. And then on the other hand, I think that Christian community, part of their message and their being is to bring good and do good. and they understand that this is exactly the story of Israel and what we're doing here. And by helping and supporting Israel, they are helping and doing good all around the world. And I think that, when you have good intentions, it's going to be effective. You're going to succeed.
We're also seeing, though, that the Knesset Christian Allies Caucus is one of the largest and most influential in the Knesset. It's got members of Knesset from left to right, religious to secular. Why are Israeli members of parliament so excited about working with Christian leadership?
The cooperation that we have together is incredible. We are capable of building friendships and events and, opening up historical places. There are so many new stories, shared stories of the Jewish communities and the Christian communities happening here in Israel. It's not always been like that.
There are literally tens of millions of people watching this show. What message do you have for our viewing audience?
Really, if you want to come and open the book of the Bible, but not just open it, but actually live it, feel it, touch it, sense it, smell it. Come here to Israel, to Jerusalem, to Judea and Samaria, to the north, to the south. Just come and feel it. It is an unbelievable experience, the stories of thousands of years that we have here, that you can come and really touch it. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for your support and your love and your prayer for our country and for our people.
Thank you, Sharren, for being on the show. And thank you for tuning in to Ask the Source. I'm your host, Josh Reinstein. Now back to the studio.
Up next, the return to Zion with Sharren Haskel.
Shalom and welcome to the Return to Zion with Sharren Haskel. I'm Sam Grunberg, World Chairman of Sharren Haskel, the leading official fundraising organization for the State of Israel. The story of the Exodus boat is one of Sharren Haskel's most famous operations. Listen to the first-hand testimony of one of the brave women who fulfilled her biblical destiny by coming home.
As the dark clouds gathered over Europe, the door to the land of Israel was not yet open. Under Arab League pressure, the British ruthlessly restricted Jewish immigration. Sharren Haskel, alongside Jews already in the land of Israel, banded together and launched the clandestine naval operation, codenamed Aliyah Bet, to save their brethren from the clutches of Nazi Germany and bring them to Israel.
כשנגמרה המלחמה התחילו להתארגן יהודים לנסוע בחזרה לפולניה. ההורים שלי החליטו שהם רוצים להגיע לארץ. התחלנו לעבור את כל אירופה לכיוון מרסיי.
With careful organization and ingenuity, these brave souls defied the British authorities. Makeshift, rickety boats set sail from ports across Europe, transporting a wretched human cargo of men, women, and children desperately seeking refuge.
הגיע יום שאספו אותנו והתחלנו להתקדם. זה לקח אולי יום וחצי עד שאנחנו צעדנו בתוך מרסיי, וככה לאט לאט הגענו לאוניית האקסודוס.
Upon its arrival to the port of Haifa, the ship was deported back to Europe, thus making it a symbol of the many hardships Jews had to face during the time of Aliyah, immigrating to their historical homeland.
ראינו את אוניות הבריטים, המשחטות שלהם מסביב כמו דגי טרף כל הזמן. כמו שאנחנו נסענו, הם נסעו. ואז הגיע היום, ראינו שהאוניות מתחילות להתקרב אלינו, וגם ראינו את חיפה, את האורות כבר. וכולם התחילו לשמוח מאוד שרואים אורות, אבל אני מבינה שהיו אנשים שהבינו שמתחיל קרב וזה. הם התחילו לשחק כדורגל, האנגלים עם האונייה. אחד נתן דחיפה ימינה, השני שמאלה, והאונייה התחילה להתפרק כמו לגו. בחיפה הורידו את האנשים, עשו עליהם פליט עם כל הכעס שהיה להם, והעבירו אותנו לאוניות, ל3 אוניות. זו הייתה אוניית אסירים, הם זרקו את כל התרמילים, אנשים נשארו כמו שעלו, בלי בגדים, בלי שום כלום.
Undeterred, the overcrowded, unseaworthy vessels of Aliyah Bet continued to challenge the blockade. Young Jewish fighters, aided by their non-Jewish sailors, succeeded in bringing more than 70,000 Jews home to the land of their forefathers in more than 100 vessels.
עם ישראל צריך להיות כולו בארץ ישראל. זה ראינו בכל הדורות.
Those who made it ashore were swiftly smuggled into the future Jewish state by daring activists from Keren HaYesod and elsewhere. Evading capture, the new arrivals were taken to kibbutzim and other new communities to live as free Jews in their own land, fulfilling the dreams of countless generations before them. And in doing so, they brought to life Zechariah's prophecy, not by might and not by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord.
זה המקום היחיד שאתה יודע שאתה בארץ שלך, על הקרקע שלך, כמו כל עם נורמלי אחר.
To this day, Keren HaYesod is helping Jews around the world come home with the help of Jews and non-Jews alike.
Let's bless Israel together.
Now's the time for you to get involved. Assist Keren HaYesod to raise the necessary funds in order to bring Jews yearning for their homeland back to Israel. Your donation can help fulfill the biblical prophecy today. To donate and get information, visit our website at www.khisrael.org.
And now, Shining Light from Israel.
When David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, cast his gaze upon the Negev desert, he envisioned 5 million people living on its harsh soil.
The Bible tells us in the book of Isaiah, chapter 35, that when the Jewish people return to the land of Israel, that the desert will rejoice and flowers will bloom in the wilderness. Well, here I stand in the northwest corner of the Negev desert, and all around me are flowers blooming here in the wilderness. One thing we're not lacking here in Israel is sunlight. However, we are lacking water. So how is it that 70% of Israel's agriculture is grown in its deserts? Well, through Israeli innovation such as water reclamation, recycling wastewater, and desalinating the water from the Mediterranean Sea that could be used for drinking as well as irrigation, we've been able to make the desert bloom. Let's now meet Ori Alon, a farmer in the desert who's using this Israeli agrotech that's been innovated here in Israel to help him make this biblical prophecy become a reality. Hey, Ori.
Hey, how are you, David?
I'm doing great, thank God. We're so excited to learn how you're using Israeli innovation in the field of agrotech to make the desert bloom.
So I'm happy to take you to the greenhouse of the cherry tomato they develop in Israel. Let's go there, but on the way you should eat some chili.
They look amazing.
They are.
Wow, these cherry tomato plants are incredible. They're so high.
We grow them in a desert. That's what's unique. And through the irrigation system, we add the nutrient to the soil.
And this irrigation system, I'm assuming it's the Israeli innovation of drip irrigation?
Yes, it is. It's developed in Israel. Look here how it's working. You can see now that we open the water through the computer. And every 20 centimeters, we have one drop that gives the same amount of water to every plant. In this situation, even if we grow on a hill, the plant on the top and the down get the same amount of water.
Wow, that's incredible. So inside the hose, you have some type of regulator.
Yes, you can see it over here that it's not just a hole in a pipe. Inside it, you can see this filter that filtering the water, and this what make it very unique even when the water is very dirty.
So what you've been able to do here is literally grow whatever you want through drip irrigation.
Yes, it's desert soil, no any nutrient inside this soil. So we have computer that check how many nutrients the plant need, and through the irrigation system, we add a chemical fertilizer that fit for grow tomato or other crops.
Wow.
We have here.
That's amazing. Do you have any other types of innovation that you use here at the farm?
Yes. In another place, we don't use soil at all. We grow up in the air. I show you it in the strawberry.
Wow, these strawberries look absolutely amazing. They taste incredible. And they're growing in the air and without soil. How is this all possible?
We grow here in a special tube, and in this tube we have coconut husk. This is coconut husk, not the part of the coconut, this one, the out part of the coconut. We take it in Sri Lanka, squeeze it, and put it in these bags, irrigate it with drip irrigation system. The rest of the water go inside this tunnel, and because we have angle over there, we can recycling the water.
Not one drop is being wasted. Folks, when visiting Israel, you can't leave without coming here where you get to pick and taste the produce and learn how we've been able to make the desert bloom.
That's all for this edition of Israel Now News. I'm Rebecca Roberts.
And I'm Yochanan Elrom, reporting from our studio in Jerusalem. Please join us again next week for all of your Israel updates.